Once a week, Walter M. Sterling, WPHT.
Imagine this. You get up one morning and you look around and you say, there are all these businessmen in trouble. There are these big retailers that need help. They're friends of mine who never have sex with their spouse. They're friends of mine who never get a date. They have blocks. They have pain. They have poverty, and I believe I can solve their problems. Imagine you wake up with that thought and you say, I'm going to offer my special spiritual, emotional, psychic help to them. But what do I call myself? I know I'm going to call myself the Love Guru. The Love Guru. Her name is Blaire. She calls herself the Love Guru. And now I'm going to ask her about everything. This is Blaire, the Love Guru. And she has special skills, special capabilities, and extraordinary experience at helping you and me unblock our blocks, do better at work, do better in business, and do better in interpersonal relationships. Now, I'm going to say two things that are important to understanding Blaire. First of all, if this was on TV, I would not have to say it. Blaire is unbelievably beautiful. So this is a person who you want to pay attention to. If she's sitting in your office, you're like, okay, I want to make Blaire happy in this conversation. And the second thing is, in her bio, she reveals how she developed her psychic and special powers. And I think it's very important to explain how you develop these powers. Who gave you these powers, Blaire?
Well, first off, thank you. It's a very nice compliment. And also, that's a hilarious question. Who gave me the powers? Well, first off, I want to do a little plug for my website. It's loveguru.net, so people can check me out and either confirm or tell you you're wrong about my work.
I've already taken care of that for you. It's on the Walter M. Sterling Facebook page. It's posted there. There's a picture of you. And I'll give you many opportunities to plug that website because I think it's important. I think what you do is remarkable. But who taught you how to do this?
Right. Okay. So this has been a long journey. I've been on the spiritual path for over 20 years, and I have been working at healing myself for over 10. So when I started healing myself, and I can explain what that healing means a little bit, since that's usually a new concept for people if they're not into spirituality. But when I started healing myself, that's when all these psychic gifts started coming out. And just as like a little disclaimer, this is something, everybody is born with natural psychic and healing gifts. It's just that's basically, we talk about animals and their natural instincts. You hear a story about like when there's bad weather coming on how animals will go like run up a hill or away from the bad weather. Well, humans, at the core of it, we're animals. So we have these natural instincts too. Our natural instincts are being psychic and having healing gifts. But because the society that we live in, it's been brainwashed out of us to turn those psychic skills off. So I just basically turned them back on. It was important for me to turn them back on.
In your bio. No, I'm right here. I want you to keep going.
Okay.
In your bio, you reveal that you were given some of this information, some of these powers, by a visitation from an alien. And you named the alien. What's the name of the alien?
Awesome. Okay. So, all right. So his name is Zeke. He's actually here with me now, too. Zeke is a star being, which is a nicer way of calling aliens. It's a nicer word, star beings. He is actually part of my family. So I have a human family, and then I have a star family. And 3 years ago, I developed my psychic skills so much that unexpectedly I had contact from this alien, Zeke, and he comes in a collective. So it's several beings, but they all work as one and the leader is named Zeke.
What does Zeke look like?
Zeke, let's see, he's very tall. He's around 7-8 feet tall. And he's considered he's called a reptilian alien. So if any of your listeners are familiar with the subject of aliens, there's a species out there called reptilian. And a lot of times they have a bad reputation out there, but that's just the lower vibration aliens. Zeke, my guy, is a higher vibration alien. He's from Sirius. And, so you want to know what he looks like. So they look like basically, so he's really tall. He's very muscular. He has it looks like he went to the gym, he has like a built out chest and muscles for his arms, muscular legs. But because he's reptilian, he has sort of like a lizard look to him. And so he has scales. And I have a picture. I don't know if you pulled that off my website too, but I have that on my website as well.
No, tell the name of the website again. I did not post the picture of Zeke.
Okay. So where you can find the picture of Zeke and also the book that I wrote about him, it's loveguru.net and it's /books. And you'll see a picture that I drew out of him. He has like spikes coming off his head, and then it goes down his back, and then he has a long tail with the spikes too.
Now, share with us 2 or 3 specific things that Zeke has taught you that has helped you improve yourself, get better, and that you've shared with clients. What are some specific things that Zeke has shared with you and taught you?
Okay, so a lot of the work that he was doing with me was about clearing fears that I had, which is something that's, I still to this day think that is kind of strange, that's one of the main things that he helped me with. But that goes back to the conversation with blocks. A lot of the reason why you're not getting whatever you want in life, again, if that has to do with career or love life, the reason why you're not getting that is because you have fear and anxiety around that. You have false beliefs. You have old beliefs. You have false programming. Again, since a young age, we've all been programmed to think a certain way, to behave a certain way. So when I was working with Zeke, or actually when he was working with me, that's more really how it worked. When he was working with me, was that we would go through what fears I had. He would stay with me. So he's still with me now, but when I was having the experience with him for a solid year, we were talking every day, and basically he was doing healing work on me, which when I say healing work, I'm talking about how he was helping me remove all these fears. So I would go through the day and a thought would come up, something would happen, and Zeke would say, okay, so let's talk about where the fear is there and let's clear that. So that was a huge thing for me, because when he helped me clear so many of these fears, more of my psychic gifts came out, and my healing gifts became stronger too. So now I am much more telepathic. I think I was a little bit before, or maybe 30%. Now I'm, 50, 60%. And telepathic is basically like you can communicate with other people without speaking. And that's how aliens talk. They're like above using words. That's antiquated to them.
How were you not afraid of Zeke when you first encountered him?
I was totally afraid. And that's actually where the lesson started, was that when he appeared, and when I talk about when he appeared, you have to keep in mind, I have my third eye developed, my psychic gifts developed. So when I'm saying I saw somebody, it's not like how we would see one another in the 3-dimensional world. It was a heavy density of him. He became really dense so that he can meet me in this 3rd dimension, but I was able to see him because I was using my third eye to view him. So I want to make that clear because sometimes it's a little bit confusing. So that's where when he first appeared, I was freaked out. I was never interested in aliens. I'm still not really. I'm not somebody who does research about it. I never cared about UFOs. So when he first came into my life, I didn't know what to think about it at all. So that's where the journey begins. That's what you witness as you read my book, because what I did is I, step by step, I documented everything that we did, every experience that I had. And that's what is in my book. It's going to be a series of like 5 or 6 books. And this is the first book. It's called How Aliens Put Me into Power. It's actually only the first 2 weeks of us connecting, but so much happened in those 2 weeks. And
how did it go from unblocking you and unblocking your fears to putting you in a position of being the love guru, to being able to share with people how to improve their passionate and romantic side of their life? What did he teach you about that?
Right. So he did not, well, I guess that's a little bit more of a complicated answer, but he did not make me the love guru. I was the love guru a long time ago. What Zeke came into my life was to help me step into my placement in this world, which I call your divine mission. So everybody comes into this world with a certain mission, which, normally people would call that maybe like a life purpose. But I am an indigo, which is actually, this is actually like a very big conversation, but an indigo is like it's a new breed of individuals that are in this world. They're in this world now. And they're the wave of the next leaders who are going to be they're the ones there's so much corruption going on in the world, in the legal field, in the medical field, in corporations and so on. So indigos are here to break down those old structures and then to step up as the leaders of the new earth. So, and indigos end up being aliens. And you'll see, I get these realizations through my journey with Zeke. But he helped me clear my fear so I can finally be ready to start to do my divine mission in this world.
I've tried to find this out, in a healthy way. Are you married?
I'm not. Yeah, if you read, I updated my bio page, so that gives, I share I'm divorced.
Right, you were divorced. So how long were you married?
I would say like 5 months.
And how did your fiancé husband deal with Zeke?
Okay, so he was before the aliens, and he was also part of my journey of waking up to more of who I was.
Right.
So
when you're dealing with a client, when you're talking to a client and they say, listen, I love my wife, but we have no love life at all. We have no sex. Is the information that Zeke gave you helpful in helping them?
I wouldn't say like directly as far as like I'm coming out and talking about aliens, because I don't talk about aliens to anybody. Well, that's false. This is my first interview that I'm doing about the aliens, but I don't walk around and say...
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, because I appreciate that. And that's what is part of... So that's part of my gift, is I know what's going to happen before it happens. So that is part of the plan unfolding.
Who's going to win the Derby? Let's be practical here. Who's going to win the Derby?
I don't know. I don't know if I really get information about that. But,
right.
To answer your question as far as how does it help people with their relationships, it helps me to have a further insight into where they're being blocked. Again, it goes back into the block. So really, he helped me just step it up a notch in my gifts and also get clearer. A lot of times when people go to healers, you're working with somebody who has not healed themselves. They have not become a fully clear channel. So when you're working with somebody to help you go to the next level in your life and to clear these blocks, you want to know that they're like a pure channel, that they have cleared triggers themselves. I mean, that's another area. He helped me clear a lot of karma and a lot of triggers.
So how would I know? So as a civilian, how would I know that when I'm trying to find a motivator, somebody to help me with my business, my love life, a guru? How would I know if they've healed themselves?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I don't know. I talk about it, that I'm healed. I'm actually enlightened. I became enlightened in 2013 because I did so much healing on myself. But I think you have to go off. Okay, so there's two things. Number one, you go off of your feeling, how you feel about somebody. And number two, that's your intuition, by the way. That's your psychic gift. And number two is that, there's that saying that when the student's ready, the teacher appears. So if somebody appears on your path and they are a consultant or a teacher or a healer or a counselor or whatever, then I would look into that further and say, how do I feel about this person? Do I want to work with them? Because that person's brought on your path for a reason. So they have a certain piece of the puzzle to help you.
All right. Blaire, the Love Guru. Share the website address again.
Okay, so it's loveguru.net. And make sure to check out the books page if you want to look at Zeke or possibly get the book, How Aliens Put Me into Power. And you can go through your own transformation too. The reason for me sharing the story the way that I did in the book and documented everything is so that people can clear their fears and their programming and their blocks and step up to the next level in their life as well.
Well, Blaire, I feel strongly that I can predict the future. My prediction is that you're going to be on this radio show again. So give the website address once more.
Okay, thank you. It's loveguru.net. And I feel like we're going to work together too. So there you go. That's confirmation.
And just to get you interested enough, guys, please listen to me. She's gorgeous. You want to go to that website to see pictures of Blaire because she's incredibly beautiful. And you take a look at her and go, yes, I will do things to make her happy. I will take her advice. All right. So thanks very much, Blaire, the Love Guru. I appreciate it. Thanks very much.